Okay, guys, let's get ready. 10 seconds.
Have Bunyan.
Give me a crowd check.
6, 5,
Hey, fade to black.
3.
Vader is still Luke's father.
Bernie's Baby Browning Tanning Beds. Get your baby beach ready today.
Hey everybody, I'm the Loud House Critic, one guy with more than 1,000 views in all the episodes I must review. So here we are in the beginning of April, and without seeing too much of a Luan Loud episode, well actually I recently saw one when it came by, but I'll tackle that one sooner or later. Right now, by popular demands, not allowed. It is the 44th episode of season 2 of the Loud House, and overall the 96th episode. Now, this was an episode I kind of almost thought was going to be the movie of Ben. Until then, they made an episode of it. And sadly, it's really not a good one. And it's way too uninteresting to most people. Hell, even me. But let's get down the road and find out why he's not allowed, or is he allowed? Oh, and one more thing before we even get started with this episode. This is actually the last episode that aired before Chris Savino actually got fired in 2017 on October 19th.
He's not part of us, not our kind. Someone once lied to us. No, we're not so blind, for we knew he would do what he's done, and we know that he'll never be one of us.
Check this out. Our little Lori was born with a pointy head, no hair, and webbed toes. Gosh, she was perfect from day one.
Yeah, you forgot modest. And hell no, I wouldn't even fucking call that perfect. Her having webbed feet like a fucking amphibian and having a little pinhead like a cone head.
Who you calling pinhead?
That's not fucking normal. You should see how the other girls look as babies.
Everyone in our class has to do a report about the day they were born. And tomorrow is my turn. Should be a cinch because Mom and Dad keep detailed baby books for all of us. Here's Luna's.
Survey says...
Isn't she adorable?
Here's Lynn's.
Survey says...
You sweet little angel! Oh, I'm gonna rip your head off and spit down your adorable little neck!
Here's Lucy's.
Survey says...
Until we all are dead.
See, none of these kids don't even have webbed feet or a freaking pointed head. Hell, and the whole family thought I was supposed to be born as a girl at first.
Aha! Here's mine. Huh. The section for my birth story is blank. That's okay. I'm sure Mom and Dad remember it.
I doubt it. Do you guys even think they would have the brain cells to even remember how he was even born?
Your birth story?
Dumbass dad, don't spit in his face! What are you, a freaking child neglector?
Yeah, it's not in my baby book.
That's weird. What do you want to know?
This does not take a fucking 4th grader to figure this out, that these parents are actually hiding something. You can see it in their faces clearly.
Well, what time of day was I born?
Morning.
Night.
Okay, how much did I weigh?
9 pounds.
What was the doctor's name?
Dr.
Bernstein.
Patel!
What is going on?
Nothing!
At least you agree on that one.
Very social, aren't they? Okay, first off, before we even move on, I should point out that there are about two plot holes about this episode. First of all, it makes no sense to make a baby book with photos of the baby when the book is meant to be blank on the inside. And Rita and Lynn being so freaking inconsiderate about Lincoln's weight as a baby, it hasn't even been confirmed about his information, yet they still don't fucking know. Oh, we're gonna tackle that sooner. We will tackle that. And another thing, what you guys saw about Luna's baby book, that she was into music at a very young age, when she actually got into music at the age of 13, which you could have already seen in For Bros About to Rock. But it is possible that Luna was actually referring to rock and roll music and not music in general, if you know what I'm saying. And also, including the fact of something I didn't even notice when I'm actually watching this again, the fact that the siblings actually have baby books, this somewhere takes somewhere about the event of the whole picture when it was shown that all the childhood photos were actually on the computer, and possibly the photo of Lincoln was actually on the computer as well as it was in his baby book. What is going on with the writers here? But anywho's.
That story had more holes than my underwear.
Okay, that joke was really stupid to actually even throw in there. I don't think anyone wants to hear something about that and even imagine seeing another hole right through his underwear.
Excuse me.
My parents are obviously hiding something, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
No, we are. You're my best bud and future brother-in-law, and I need to know how you came into this world.
Oh, that is so easy of where Lincoln actually came from. You see, when a man and woman, they love each other, and when they get married, and when they go on their honeymoon, and when they love each other very much, the man carries the woman up the stairs and into a room, and they take their clothes off and they decide to...
Come on now, let's be mature about this.
Okay.
But Lincoln decides that his parents are actually hiding something, no shit, and he decided to get to the bottom of this by asking his eldest sister, Lori.
Hey, Lori, do you remember anything about the day I was born?
Sure. Pop was watching us, a car pulled up, and a scientist wearing a mask and gloves stepped out, holding you.
A scientist? Did you say a scientist?
Oh, hi, Clyde.
System overload. Abort.
Will you remind me again why we brought him?
I hate to question my future bride, but that story makes no sense. Scientists don't deliver babies.
I'm starting to ask myself, why is Clyde even in this episode anyway? That's a great theory, but unfortunately, that's illegal to actually make a human being in a lab. I tell more detail about that, but you guys have to watch an anime show called Shuffle in order to believe what I'm saying. But we're gonna get back on the subject.
Wait a minute. What if that scientist didn't deliver me? What if she created me? Like Larry the lab boy.
That kind of looks like Adam Sandler as a baby.
Of course, and it would totally explain the white hair.
Only one thing. Larry has superpowers, and I don't.
Or do you? Field test!
Don't be an idiot. I've seen season 1 and 2. Yeah, obviously season 3, 4, and 5 didn't even exist yet until they confirmed it. And yet I have not seen one single superpower Lincoln possesses in this show from the very beginning. Hell, I thought Lucy was actually a vampire when I saw the butterfly effect, but totally that shit was all in Lincoln's head. But these boys go through their fucking field test to see if he does have superpowers. Which I pretty much doubted when I first saw this episode.
First up, super strength.
Okay, Clyde, let's do this.
Oh, that's stupid. That's really fucking stupid. I know for a fact Lincoln is not Hercules. Damn! Thanks for giving a shit about your own son getting hurt with all those fallen objects out there thinking that he's gonna have superpowers. You know, seeing shit like this kind of reminds me a bit of the Muppets with Gonzo on the other hand. I don't know if some of you guys remember this or even know this, but there was a time where Gonzo was tightroping and he was holding onto the piano, which I don't know how the fuck he was doing that. And then all of a sudden he started counting with his fingers all of a sudden. And then when I realized he was using both of his hands down there, and I was like, who the fuck is holding the piano? And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh shit. And then the piano just hits him in the face. And then there was another episode where he was holding like, I don't know if it was 5,000 pounds or 500 pounds weight that he was carrying. And he got under there all of a sudden, and then he snapped his fingers, and then he gets crushed by that thing. Although I didn't laugh at this bit, but somewhat it kind of reminded me of that.
Now that you're upright, let's try testing your super speed. On your mark, get set, run like the wind!
kidding me? Lincoln does not run like that. I've seen him run in cover, girls, and he runs more faster than that. Although he's not the fucking Flash, but I've seen him run faster than that. But as much as no fucking luck coming to him, he goes back to the house and asks Lenny about his birth.
I totes remember that day. We were at home waiting to meet you, and then you were carried in by an eagle. Well, off to the mall.
An eagle carrying a baby? That just doesn't add up. Hell, I thought it was the storks that delivered a baby, but obviously, this is an odd thing to think of.
Wait a minute. Remember this?
Of course! Eric the Eagle Boy.
Oh, please. I know they weren't trying to rip off Hawkeye.
But Eric could do all that, eagle stuff.
Field test!
How many out there want to bet that this gag is already being too stupid as it's being used again after when it didn't work the first time?
McBride to Tower. We're ready for takeoff. 1, 2, 3.
Like
Fly,
Peter
Eagle
Pan.
Boy! Fly!
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. And that's lame. Even Gopher can do better than that.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I really must be going. Lots of things to do, you know. That reminds me of one of the things I didn't want to do again.
Okay, screw him too. Watch how the way I fly.
I can fly, I can fly. But I gotta fix those landings.
Okay, so there are times I wish I was Peter Pan, but obviously humans will fly one of these days without an airplane. I wonder how great it would be actually using a jetpack to actually get to school or get to work.
Open wide, Eagle Boy. Here's lunch.
Don't be a pussy, Lincoln. If Lana can actually eat worms, so can you. Most boys do it.
You pussy.
Survey says...
Word to the Kraken.
And the next sister he actually asked about his birth information is Luna.
Your birth story? Totally remember it, brah. A car pulled up to the house and Mom and Dad stepped out holding you.
Huh? I thought you'd get at least 10 feet of air.
That's it?
And then all these dudes in dark suits and sunglasses jumped out, surrounded the house, and started talking into their watches. It was pretty rad.
Holy shit, it's the Men in Black. They actually were here. No wonder the parents can't remember so much their kids. They got their memories erased.
Had this been an actual emergency, y'all would have been eaten. Cause you don't listen. You're ignorant. How a man gonna come bashing through the back of a subway when that's the problem with all y'all? Oh, we've seen it all. Oh no, a 600-foot worm, save us, Mr. Black Man. Now I come in, I ask you nice, move to the next car. Y'all just sit there like...
I rest my case.
We'd all have our memories erased. Did you see Memento? It's not as good the second time.
Now I'm even more confused. I'm not. Alan the Alien Boy, of course.
Now what the fuck? Is it just me, or does that alien boy kind of look like Brainiac? Don't know so much about the character, but I think he's from DC.
Those guys Luna saw were government agents bringing me to Mom and Dad.
That would explain the white hair.
Will you please be quiet?
Oh, that's no excuse. The Men in Black are supposed to fight off aliens. But then again, there are a couple of aliens that are friends of them. But guess what Lincoln and Clyde decided to do? 2 words. Field test. This is gonna hurt. He doesn't have superpowers like I fucking said before, but if you're insisting, I dare him to try to be like Carrie White.
Before going in there. Woo!
Woo, it stings like a dead whore in there, Lana. What'd you eat?
Next test is the ability to regenerate lost limbs.
Oh, you bet the hell not.
Please do not do this.
Please do that shit.
Oh, you better hell not chop one of his arms off. And that won't even look right either. And it's too damn obvious that he's not a superhero, and clearly he's not a fucking alien. But guess more birth story he has to go ask for is from Luan. And things just get so much weirder, like Lincoln hasn't even got it through his head clearly. Then again, I could overanalyze that the girls aren't even making sense of what they're telling him. Maybe the Men in Black might erase their memories as well too.
You did not see a room full of shiny weapons. You did not see 4 alien night crawlers. You will cherish and love each other for the rest of your lives.
Which could be the next 27 or 28 minutes, so y'all should get to loving and cherishing. Oh, and she can stay up as late as she wants and have cookies and candy and cakes and junk and stuff.
Well, I was really little, but I do remember how excited we were to finally have a brother. We thought for sure you'd be a girl.
Why would you think that?
Because they're idiot like the Turners. And I don't even know if Chris Savino was actually making fun of Butch Hartman of that shit.
Mom and Dad already had your room decorated for one. At first we thought they brought home the wrong baby.
What the hell was that? Did you see the head movement on Lincoln? Watch this. Great animation, but weird sound effect. It sounded like his dick was getting hard. But all in all, Lincoln and Clyde decided to actually go online and search the name of residence. And so much flattery these writers love to give themselves in that computer. I guess some of them must be born in Michigan as well too. But I digress that Lincoln belongs to any of them. And they decide to go and investigate the neighborhood.
Maybe you were switched with that really tall girl.
Ooh, screw me! I just found myself a tall drink of water. That sexy mother? Holy shit, that's a third lingering thread of my sexuality, hotties.
Pull your damn pants up, boy! I don't want to see that!
Much to my deep regret. Next!
You're right, we're getting off the subject. Next house. Damn you fine.
Hey, that girl laughs just like Luan.
And yet that laugh is coming from the voice actress who does Luan.
She must be allowed, and I must belong in that family.
Holy hell!
Looks like a long-lost relative of Gru from Despicable Me. Next family.
Maybe she's the one. She's into dirt, just like Lana.
Or not.
Survey says...
I'm a woodpecker. Except with dirt.
I don't know if those are even relatives of Rusty or Liam, but I'm gonna be back on the pills now. Next family.
Ow! I hate these drought-resistant lawns.
I sure hope it's not this house, because we'd be going to different schools. Just thinking about that makes my feet sweat.
Who the hell puts cactuses in their front yard? You're not living in a fucking desert.
I wouldn't worry about it, Clyde. With the luck we're having... Ah! The white hair! And look at her hair! It looks just like Lori's!
Well, now I've seen everything.
Yeah, and the thing about Lori's hair, it looks too 2D looking. Not to mention she's a bee cub, and she's also quite immodest. And then Lori does show some loving support. Whoa, and another thing that girl and Lori have in common, they had braces.
Tell me what's funny.
What does everyone want for dinner?
Spicy subs! Spicy subs!
Hair like Lori's, plays guitar like Luna, eats like Lynn. That girl is allowed!
Oh, don't start counting all your eggs just yet until you talk to your parents, if they are even your real parents.
Let's face it, Clyde. Those white-haired people are my real parents. I'm gonna have to move here and start my life all over. But first, I have some choice words for my so-called parents.
Then again, he did run away in an alternate story of no such luck. So back at the Loud House, Lincoln actually confronts his parents.
Oh, good God, he broke his neck.
Okay.
Can we help you, son?
Son, that's an interesting choice of words. Yeah!
Shut up, Clyde. Let me handle this. They're my parents, not yours. And speaking of Clyde, I hope we actually get a good episode of what really happened to his mother.
I know my real birth story.
You do?
Yep, you really had another girl, but you didn't want another girl, did you? You wanted a boy!
Hey, that's kind of what King Henry actually wanted, did, until he had to beheaded all these girls who were giving him daughters and he actually really wanted a son. Or was that only in a Simpsons episode?
So what did you do? You paid off the hospital to look the other way. Then you made the old switcheroo with some poor unsuspecting family across town. What do you have to say for yourselves?
Okay, that theory of Lincoln being switched with a different kid, that only works with Catholic people. Yeah, what the hell am I talking about? Well, it's kind of a hard story to actually tell you guys about what these guys actually do in Catholic churches. But if you guys want to actually know the real dark secret that they're actually hiding, you can see it in the link description below after this review. And trust me, it will blow your mind of how some of these people used to support the Nazis.
Oh, I'm glad you find ruining my life funny.
What's so funny, you two? Is Lincoln funny to you? Is he funny to you like he's a clown? He amuse you? He makes you laugh? He's here to fucking amuse you? What the fuck is so funny about your son? Tell me what's funny.
We don't mean to laugh. It's just that you're way off base.
Oh, Lincoln, of course you're our son. Why don't you sit down? It's time you know the real story of your birth. Okay, you too, Clyde.
Clyde, get the hell out of my house. And does he really have to be in this episode? But here's the little birth story of Lincoln, and it's really not that interesting.
Well, the day you were born got off to a pretty normal start.
Oh yeah, I get a fucking $50 every time I hear the word normal. Nothing is normal these days. Hell, not even birth control pills that have Fred Flintstone on them.
My water broke. We called Pop. He came over to watch your older sisters.
I drove your mother to the hospital in Vanzilla, but not surprisingly, she broke down.
What did you just say?
The van, not your mother. And that's when things stopped being normal.
We were afraid you were going to be born on the side of the road, but thankfully, a black limo pulled up.
Could have knocked me over with a feather. It was the president and the first lady.
What the f?
Survey says...
Come closer.
When I told them what was going on, they offered to give us a ride to the
asshole,
hospital.
Did you forget somebody? And why the hell is the president even here? That's what I mean by things not being normal, even in shows like this that don't even face reality. But I'll talk about that criticism later. And Rita kind of looks hot when she's pregnant. And you know, personally, the more I think about how terrible mother she's turned out to be, the less I feel attracted to her and the more I actually want to bang this girl instead.
Godzilla is pulling some hot stripper pole action on the Sears Tower, or whatever the f we call it these days. What is it? Willis Tower? I'm hearing Willis Tower.
Everything was looking fine again, but you weren't a very patient baby. We weren't going to make it to the hospital. You were going to be delivered by the president until he passed out.
For being the most powerful person in the United States, he's such a huge pussy.
Then the first lady took over.
What an amazing woman. She was so cool under pressure.
Of course, you had to hear that from me since you were passed out too.
That's not how I remember it.
Idiot.
I'm not a huge fucking pussy. And that story is just so random, like the writers just threw something on here just because they couldn't make up a good damn story of their own. But if I had a huge guess about who the president and who the first lady was, it would have to most likely be George W. Bush and Laura Bush, because it would most likely have to be that Lincoln was actually born in 2005 through 2016, where the show actually debuted. And George Bush was only president from 2001 through 2009.
Anyway, she delivered you right there in the limo. When we saw you for the first time, our hearts just melted.
Yeah, I guess you guys weren't gonna predict so much that he wasn't gonna be your favorite kid of the house. And saying something like that is not gonna save your ass. For all the stuff you guys said and what you guys did to Lincoln in the past few seasons. Wait, this is season 2, so much likely season 1 in the past. And yet this was somewhere after no such fucking luck.
The reason we never told you was because the president was... Because the president was heading to his top-secret safe house in Royal Woods. No one knows about it, and no one can.
Survey says...
Silence! 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 Silence!
That is bullshit. Given the choice that the president didn't want anyone else to know about where the hell he was heading, since these were the only two who were actually in his fucking limo, giving birth in the back fucking seat, now they have to keep everything a secret, even Lincoln's birth story, which means he can't tell this to anybody.
It just don't add up!
What the fuck? I'm just gonna skip much of this and go straight right to the ending. And I'm just gonna fill in all the gaps about what the sisters were actually saying about Lincoln earlier. Lincoln's room was gonna be actually a girl's room because they were using leftovers from the first 5 girls that they actually had. The guys in the black back there were actually Secret Service agent. The scientist was the first lady in the first aid kit. And the damn eagle thing was actually him being in some kind of presidential seal that was given to them, which was also on a blanket. But as bad as freaking habit is, they can't tell anybody about his own birth story, which I would rather tell anyone my birth story if I was delivered by a super celebrity. Lincoln and Clyde are actually back in Lincoln's room.
It's great we know the truth, Lincoln, but we still haven't solved the mystery of your white hair.
Oh, aren't we all? We all are still trying to solve why the hell does Lincoln have white hair, which I hope they explain in the future of why he has white hair anyway. Some are still trying to make him a brunette or a blonde hair. But I kind of like him with the white hair, but I wish they could actually explain it. But Lincoln and Clyde actually get them another stupid idea of what they think about where he got his white hair.
Wait a minute. I think I have the answer.
Of course! Ron the radioactive boy. His hair turned white after that gamma ray explosion.
You know, him saying something kind of like that kind of reminds me a bit of Monsters vs. Aliens, how the way Susan Murphy was actually getting ready for a wedding with that asshole Derek, and she gets hit by this meteor, and then she starts growing, and her hair turns white. What if Lincoln was actually intended to be a brunette, but somewhat became a white hair boy instead? But as bad as this episode gets, but guess how they ended this episode with them saying,
but he also got all those weird mutant abilities.
Field test!
Survey says...
It's super crap-a-fuckerific, XBL bullshit. A film so bad the censors really ought to go and pull it. Sadly, there's not many words that only rhyme with bullshit. Super crap-a-fuckerific, XBL bullshit. Fuck-a-doodle, fuck-a-life, fuck-a-doodle, fuck-a-life. Here's a film that's so awful, I'd rather have a guy come circumcise me with an axe and poke me in the eye. I'd rather drink a giant bowl of ape and monkey splooge. And there's another million things that I would rather do. Super crap-a-fuckerific, XBL bullshit. Film so bad the censors really ought to go and pull it. Sadly, there's not many words that only rhyme with bullshit. Super crap-a-fuckerific, XBL bullshit!
That was, really unusual.
So this was not allowed.
Deception, disgrace.
Okay, before I can move along, let's talk about the elephant in this room. And I will bet $100 that each and every one of you out there who first watched this show thought Lincoln Loud was adopted. And that has been one of the most popular theories of all time. And to be perfectly honest, I almost didn't want to believe too much of it because at first when I watched it, I almost thought he was adopted, but then again, I just disagreed about it. Hell, if I believed anybody was adopted, I'd say it'd be Lenny. Hell, my brother said if he believed anyone would be adopted, it'd be Lisa.
Really?
Please don't ask. He said that, not me. So one thing I'm actually thankful that they actually confirmed that Lincoln is actually not adopted. But the birth story of him, it's shit. Okay, it's total shit. Okay, so let's wind the clock about this. The parents break down on their way to the hospital, so they're picked up by the President of the United States, who was too stupid to deliver, and the First Lady delivers Lincoln. How does this sound to everybody when they first watch this? To me, this kind of sounded like it was something made from a fan fiction. And I got 3 syllables for the writers. Laziness. They decided to throw shit on the screen to make us think that that's the actual birth story of Lincoln. That's because they have no realistic story about this. Like they just couldn't come up with something. But the big issue I have to say, but why the hell would the President of the United States show the fuck up out of nowhere and want to actually deliver Lincoln? Do these writers not understand how private the president actually wants to be? He's always in the private vehicles trying to stay out of the public crowd so they're not even noticed. Hell, John F. Kennedy was the reason why they decided to be in these private cars besides showing their faces out in the crowd. And the other huge nitpick about this one is, why the hell did this have to be a Lincoln and Clyde episode? This should have been an episode for Lincoln Screw Clyde. Let this Lincoln discover his own birth on his own. And I fucking hated those field test things. I would have loved this episode if it actually was a heart-warming, tender kind of moment where the parents are actually explaining Lincoln's birth story throughout the episode with Lori, Lenny, Luna, Luan, Lynn, and then finally they're getting ready to have Lincoln. And then Lincoln would actually be born in the hospital. But I'm still unclear about why does he even have white hair. That's still one huge plot hole of this show. And I'm pretty sure I don't know if he has albino or not. Hell, there's still no damn reason about why he had to be delivered by the president or the first lady of the president. That's just like sticking Buster Bunny to be a part of the Simpsons family. So personally for me, I really don't like this episode. Cause so much, it's just too unfunny with this episode. No matter how they try to throw every single piece of shit gag they can give us, and it doesn't even work the first time. And yet they had to constantly keep repeating it until they can get one freaking laugh out of it. I mean, there are some pretty interesting episodes in season 2, 3, 4, and season 5. They gotta get a little more interesting, because there's really not too much interesting about season 5's episodes. Well, I hope this review satisfied people who actually wanted me to review this episode. I'm the Loud House Critic, and it's time for me to actually get down with another request.
In the loud house, duck, dodge, push and shove, it's how we show our love. In the loud house, one boy and 10 girls wouldn't trade it for the world.
We know that we never belong home first. One of us. Deception, disgrace. Deception, disgrace.